The world of finance has been shaken by a revelation that is so alarming that it is causing governments, investors, and organizations to go into a frenzy. After years of striving to build its own central bank digital currency, the European Central Bank is now in full-blown panic mode. This comes after the bank has gone through years of struggle. There are rumors circulating among those who are insiders in Brussels about a choice that is so audacious and so desperate that it would forever alter the fundamental nature of money in Europe. According to these sources, the European Central Bank, ECB, has formally decided to forsake its own CBDC project, which has been stuck in a stalemate and is instead looking to Ripple's XRP as its salvation. You read it correctly, the digital euro is not going to be constructed from the ground up. It is going to be tied to XRP and not at some low valuation for each coin. Rather, it is going to be tethered to XRP at an astounding $50,000 per coin. This is not merely a rumor. Rather, it is the plan that is currently being decided upon in secret rooms all around Europe. The Eurozone has conceded defeat, acknowledged that it is unable to compete with the technological superiority of Ripple's ledger, and is now compelled to acknowledge XRP as the financial backbone of an entire continent. There is more to the partnership between the dollar and the euro known as XRP than just currencies. This is about geopolitics, about alliances, and about the very survival of Western civilization in the new financial order. Everything revolves around these things. Let's now walk over the process of how this peg truly functions. Setting the price of XRP at $50,000 is not a matter of conjecture. The mathematics of liquidity is at play here. In order for Europe to replace trillions of euros in settlement value, it needs a high enough price, E of XRP, to be able to manage those movements with minimal disruption to supply. At this point in time, there is not sufficient liquidity to sustain the economic activity of a full continent. At a price of $50,000, however, each XRP can suddenly carry a significant amount of transactional weight. The settlement flows of a single XRP can be equivalent to millions of dollars. Therein lies the PEG's remarkable genius. In no way is it arbitrary, structure is involved. The valuation of XRP is being practically engineered by Europe in order to meet its stringent financial requirements. Furthermore, by establishing a shared EU Ripple treasury, they ensure the supply and stability that are necessities for the enforcement of the peg. For a time, Ripple's escrow was considered a liability, but it has now become the weapon of peg defense, a tool that can either release or absorb liquidity according on the situation. In light of this, what does this imply for individual investors, those devoted holders of XRP who have been harassed and ridiculed for a number of years? The word vindication comes to mind. It is a sign of fate. Those individuals who invested in XRP when it was at a low price, when the Securities and Exchange Commission was filing a lawsuit, and when doubters believed that it was no longer viable, are today, rather unexpectedly, the architects of Europe's future. You, as the individual holder, find yourself suddenly in possession of the most valuable financial instrument that exists anywhere in the world, acknowledged and supported by the European Central Bank, ECB, itself. As of right now, analysts are predicting that this peg could generate more billionaires than any other event in the history of modern times. Just picture yourself waking up with only 20 XRP in your possession and discovering that it is guaranteed to be worth $1 million. Suppose you have 1,000 XRP, and you suddenly realize that you have authority over $50 million, which is pegged to the European Union. To put it another way, this peg is responsible for the transfer of wealth, but the sense of urgency cannot be denied. There has been no formal announcement regarding the peg. The announcement is on its way, and the documents are still being signed here and there. When it happens, the price will be fixed for all time from that point forward. The window is closing very quickly, as indicated by this. Unlike a typical bull run in which prices go up and down, this one is not like that. It is not a cycle at all. This will be a restart. Once the price of XRP is fixed, the market as we know it will no longer persist. Retail will never again be able to purchase items for less than $50,000. The supply will disappear into the vaults of institutions, into the coffers of governments, and into the machinery of the new financial system in Europe. There is a possibility that you will never possess XRP at all if you do not hold it before the peg is revealed. Insiders are referring to this as the last chance, the last opportunity, before Europe closes the gates and deems XRP to be the property of a continent. This is the reason why they are calling it an opportunity, not to mention the Eurozone. The XRP zone is right around the corner. Because of the panic decision made by the European Central Bank, the map of global finance has been rewritten. At this point, the dollar is no longer uncontested. The threat posed by the yuan is no longer the sole one. This new world is constructed using XRP. At the same time, Europe has been the first to fire. Every single transaction, every single settlement, and every single financial decision that takes place within the Eurozone will now be recorded on the XRP ledger, which is fixed at $50,000. With Ripple serving as its defender, the digital euro is a digital currency. Neither of these is a test. A pilot is not what this is. This is the unfolding of history in the present moment. The question that you need to ask yourself is a straightforward one. Do you intend to take part in the activity, or do you plan to observe it? Because the game is ended as soon as the peg is said to have been proclaimed. XRP will be unreachable in the future. The old euro has passed away. This new financial order is on its way out. Today marks the arrival of the new world, and it is XRP. It is up to you to decide, but that won't be the case for very much longer. The news is going to be announced soon. This peg will not be removed. Moreover, the shift of wealth has already begun occurring. The XRP zone is yours to explore. It is important to keep in mind that I am not a recognized financial advisor. The content that is displayed in these videos is solely intended for the purpose of providing amusement. Before making any decisions regarding their finances, I always recommend viewers to do their own study and seek the advice of professionals. Many thanks for taking the time to listen. I would appreciate it if you could give the video a thumbs up and then make sure to hit the subscribe button if you feel it entertaining. Additionally, guarantee that you activate the notifications so that you are the first to know about any new content that I publish. I am looking forward to catching up with you in the video that is coming up. Take care of yourself.